counterproductive, because the more and more you demand of your body, the more and more recovery the body's going to need. Because remember this, you grow while you're resting. You don't grow while
None of y'all stopping me, don't need the axe. Chopping trees, planting seeds, plotting schemes, crossing lines, dotting T's. Lines are blurred, I cannot see. Before I die, I'm top 3. Before I die, I'm top 3.
You telling me how many reps I gotta do? Okay. Okay. What is going on, YouTube? You are back with the Prez. We're in Juniper Park today, and today's video is not gonna be another workout routine. Today I'm gonna be telling you guys about the 5 mistakes that I made as a natural lifter and that I see most people making when it comes to building muscle. And this video is going to be specifically tailored to a natural lifter, right? Because you already know, BARNATURALS, we're natural for life. We don't do no steroids over here, nothing to enhance us. We don't take no cheat codes over here. Everything is hard work and dedication. But I have made many mistakes along my fitness journey, and I've been at this for 10 plus years now, guys. The number one mistake I see people make when it comes to building muscle, remember, I'm going to emphasize building muscle. The first mistake I see people make, that I made for many years to come in the beginning, was inadequate nutrition. Remember, when it comes to having the goal of building muscle means you're now adding more muscle mass to your body, increasing your overall lean body mass. You have to have a sufficient amount of calories in your system in order for that to happen. Now, don't get it twisted. If you're somebody who's extremely overweight, you can be the outliers that can build muscle and lose weight at the same time while being in a calorie deficit. But for the majority of lifters, if you're not excessively overweight, and if you have a goal of building muscle, you're gonna have to make sure you're eating in a calorie surplus with a minimum of about 300 calories per day added to your maintenance calories, which is your total daily energy expenditure. So whatever your total daily energy expenditure is, that's what your maintenance calories match up to. So whatever we're currently at right now, if you didn't want to make any change, if you didn't want to build muscle, you would eat it maintenance. If you wanted to build muscle, someone who's on the heavier side, that has a little bit of body fat, that's not as lean as, let's say, somebody like me, you would want to be in about a 300 calorie per day surplus to continue to build muscle, and eventually we'll have to cut down to reveal all that. But if you want to build muscle and you're not excessively overweight, that calorie surplus should be around at least minimum 300. Now, if you're someone who's lean like me and you're a newbie at this and you have hard time putting on weight, your surplus should be around 500 calories per day while following a proper resistance training program. Because remember, in order to ensure that we're building muscle and not just building fat or gaining fat, we want to make sure that we're giving our body a proper stimulus to build muscle, which is going to be resistance training. So the first mistake I see most people making is inadequate nutrition. All right, so the second mistake that I made, and I see so many people making, especially as a natural, is overtraining. And what I mean overtraining is not giving your body sufficient rest and recovery from session to session. When I first started, I just wanted to be a better athlete, so I thought I just had to train every single day. And to become a better athlete, practicing your craft or your sport every single day is probably gonna be the best way to get better at that. But like I said, this video was titled The Mistakes I Made to Try to Build Muscle. So training every day, even if I was doing a push day on Monday, a pull day on Tuesday, a leg day on Wednesday, and then back to push-pull legs, because I used to like to train 6 days straight. Sometimes I would want to train every single day when I first started, just thinking it was going to give me better results. Yes, I got better at calisthenics. I might have burned a little bit more body fat, but I never actually built muscle. I became a leaner, smaller version of myself. Because when you're trying to become, remember this, guys, when you're trying to become a better calisthenic athlete, more often than not, the leaner and less body fat you hold, the better athlete you're going to be. So when I first started my career as, training calisthenics, I wasn't as lean as I was. I had a lot of body fat on me. Not a lot, but I had a sufficient amount of body fat. I had a little bit, not too great shape. So that high volume training, it cut me up, it got me lean, but I lost weight and I just revealed muscle that I had already. Now, if I wanted to build muscle, I would have had to do a lot less over time, right? Which I learned in the past. And one thing that, is very common in the calisthenic world, the overtraining, you hear a lot of people talk about, oh, overtraining is a myth, just push your body. And like I said, you can become more resilient to training and your body can adapt to more and more stress demanded to it. But when it comes to building muscle, that's gonna be counterproductive, because the more and more you demand of your body, the more and more recovery the body's going to need. Because remember this, you grow while you're resting. You don't grow while you're training. So building muscle is a process of growing. So in order to grow and for those muscles to come back bigger and stronger, you need to have sufficient rest between your workouts. So not training 6 straight days in a row as a natural is gonna be a world of change and help you progress with muscle building a lot faster. Which is gonna lead right into the third mistake that most people make. All right, the third mistake that I made and that so many other people are making, I see it all the time, is a lack of progressive overload. Like I said, if you want to build muscle, you have to continuously give your body a reason to build muscle. And if you're going into the gym or to the park every day and you're just doing the same thing over and over, like I did when I first started, I would just go and say, all right, I'm gonna do 100 pulls today, with no, set rep scheme, nothing, no progressive overload involved. Maybe I would try to do it faster at times than I did the time before, but it wasn't ever consistent, right? Consistently adding reps throughout your sets, consistently adding weight over time, making sure that you're doing more than you did the previous session, that's ensuring that you're progressively overloading. And again, everything is dependent on the recovery. So you gotta make sure you're recovering adequately between sessions, not overtraining. Following progressive overload, getting stronger from session to session. Getting stronger could be adding a set, adding a couple reps, or adding weight and continuously hitting the same amount of rep ranges, right? Just like today, like I explained, just like when I'm in my hypertrophy phases, like I explained in my previous video. I'm doing a hypertrophy block right now, and I have a simple rep scheme progression to ensure progressive overload. Simple as this. You start with, let's just say, 50-pound pull-ups. On your first day, let's say we're doing this routine 3 days a week, day 1. You do 3 sets of 6 with 50 pounds. Rest a full day. Next day you come back, so day 2, 50 pounds. You go for 4 sets of 7. So you did 3 sets of 6 on day 1. That's 18 total reps with 50 pounds. You rested a full 24 hours. Now you're back on the 3rd day of the week, 2nd workout day. 50 pounds again, you go for 4 sets of 7. Now that volume went from 18 to 28 reps. Full rest day in between. Day 3, which would be now the 5th day of the week. Let's just say it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Friday, 50 pounds again, 5 sets of 8 reps. So it went from 3 sets of 6 to 4 sets of 7 to 5 sets of 8. Simple progressive overload without having to overload the weight, right? We mastered the weight, added more volume, and once we hit the 5 sets of 8, we increased the load and dropped back down to 3 sets of 6. So following a sufficient progressive overload routine is key, as long as you're also in that calorie surplus and not overtraining to ensure you're building muscle. So the 4th mistake that I really didn't have this problem of making, but I see a lot of people making it. And if you're a calisthenic athlete, this really shouldn't be an issue for you. But if you're more of a gym goer and you prefer to lift weights in the gym, this is a common problem I see. A lot of people like to neglect the compound lifts. Like I said, if you're a calisthenic athlete, every movement is pretty much gonna be a compound exercise. Pull-ups, push-ups, dips, squats, rowing, they're all gonna involve multi-joint movements. But a lot of people tend to just focus on isolation movements. Remember, isolation movements are good for feeling a muscle, connecting to a muscle. But if you're trying to build more muscle in the body, having that compound movement in your routine is gonna just give you a higher bang for your buck, because you're gonna be recruiting more muscles overall, and they're gonna be harder movements in general, stimulating those type 2 fibers a lot more effectively than an isolation movement. Isolation movements tend to be a lot easier, and you can go on that higher rep range. So those first few reps in the set may not be as effective as if you're doing pull-ups at body weight if they're tough for you, weighted pull-ups if they're tough for you, right? Weighted dips, bench pressing, deadlifting. All these movements are gonna give you a lot better bang for your buck and a higher muscle building stimulus than an isolation move alone. So if you're a gym goer, try to stick to more compound movements as opposed to isolation movements, and save the isolation movements for the end of the workout when you're fatigued. All right, the last and final mistake that I've made and that I would say 90% of the people on earth make sure you're getting proper sleep and recovery. I said this many times throughout this video because it has a significance in every other mistake that you make, right? Overtraining is going to lead to less recovery. Following an unproductive progressive overload scheme is going to lead to less recovery capabilities. Not getting adequate nutrition is going to lead to decreased recovery, and not getting adequate sleep. And when I say adequate, I'm just going to say the bare minimum of at least 6 hours a night of restful sleep, right? Not tossing and turning, not up for hours at a time and going, not just spending 6 hours in bed. You want to get a good restorative night's sleep to ensure that you're fresh and recovered the next day. Because remember, your muscles do not build and grow while you're training them. The muscles build and grow while you're resting and recovering. So making sure you have a sound sleep schedule, trying to go to sleep at the same time every night, shutting off blue lights an hour before bed, not staring at your phone or a television screen right before you go to bed, which is going to stimulate your body to stay awake, right? You want your body to start producing melatonin. And if lights are high at night, if you have a lot of light around, your body's not going to start to stimulate melatonin production, which is the natural production of the body as it wants to wind down. So dimming the lights at night, putting on blue blocking glasses if you're going to be watching TV or you're going to be on your phone. Doing these little things that will help you increase your sleep and get a better night's sleep is all going to help you recover better and build more muscle. So these were the top 5 mistakes that I have made as a natural athlete and that I see many people making throughout their gym career. And if you just start paying attention to these literally easy variables that you can manipulate, don't train 5-6 days a week if you're natural. Train 3 to 4 days. Maybe sometimes over, in the future you could build up to 5 days with the intensity being a little bit lower. But making sure you're recovering adequately session to session, not training push-ups and dips 2 days in a row and not giving your chest an adequate time to recover, right? Making sure the muscles are going into the next session fresh. Making sure you're properly fed. Making sure you're following a progressive overload routine. Follow these 5 variables and I guarantee you're going to have a lot better results in your training career. I hope this helped you guys out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section. I'll always get back to you guys. If you're not subscribed yet, smash that subscribe button. Like the video, helps the algorithm out. Share it with your friends and your family. Let's keep this channel growing. We're past 40K. I want to hit 100K by spring of 2024. Like always, guys, I appreciate the support. Peace out. Barnaturals.